Hi, it's Sandy Parker and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. I've been thinking about this for a while. I have some really ugly papers that look like they're circa 1970 but aren't, and they came in a pack of other ones that I did like, and I thought I'm going to have to do something with those or just throw them out because I just can't stand it. So I decided what I would do is combine making background paper out of them with a bunch of flowers, big flowers because it's a 12 by 12 paper, and then I'm going to play with a new present I bought myself. This is my Mother's Day present from the dogs. It's a set of, I think it's called Stabilo pens. They're markers, and the tip is a 68, and I have seen people do watercoloring with them, and I thought, well, that looks like a lot of fun. So I said to Rich, that's what I need for my Mother's Day treat. I need to have some new pens and I need to play with them. So what I decided to do is to ink up some really pretty flower images, and these are Stupendous flowers. They're from the Build-A-Bouquet set and also from Lovely Garden, both Stupendous. And some of them are very large flowers and some are bunches of flowers. So I'm going to kind of do a bunch of flowers, but I thought it would be fun to just make my own background paper, and that's what we're going to do with this. And we're also going to see how those markers work out. You never know. And I thought I would use my Rock-A-Block on these because it makes a nice image. It's curved. It's the acrylic block itself has a curve in it, and it makes it so that when you put it down, you don't have a problem with getting a bigger image to show up on the paper completely. Does that make sense? Yeah, that made sense. And I know you're only supposed to rock it once, but sometimes I rock it backwards, and people have told me you're not supposed to do that, but I've never had any problem doing that. I don't have any what do you call that? Doubling up, I guess is what you call it. So that's that one. Then I'm going to go to a smaller flower, and this is just my $2 acrylic block that I bought at a stamp show. And if you need to know about my acrylic blocks, I have a video that's all about acrylic blocks. I'll link it to this one so you can kind of see why I choose the acrylic blocks that I choose and which ones work best for me. I do have a MISTI, but on big paper like this, my MISTI is the regular size one, and I know that they've come out, or they're coming out with a 12-inch MISTI. I could never imagine I would need it for anything more than like a once in a while thing like this, and believe me, this is definitely a once in a while thing. I'm not going to be I don't plan on doing a lot of stamping on huge images like this, or huge pieces of paper. I mean, that's my thinking. Anyway, I really like these Rock-A-Blocks because you have a nice handhold on them. Well, it's not as nice a handhold as I'd like it to be. I like a knob better than this, but the fact that it has a way for me to hold on to it really makes me happy, because that's the thing that I really struggle with normal acrylic blocks, is getting a good grip on it. Oh. Now I have a few marks here that I got from the edges of this stamp pad. I don't have a problem with that because I think that, by the time I cut this, when I use it, I can cut that piece out. I don't have to use, you don't have to use any one part of these. This is just an idea for you to use your ugly paper with, and it also is a way for you to come up with something to color on, rather than buying something new to color on. You have your coloring surface all ready for you. Didn't think that you'd want to watch the entire project, but what I found was, because this paper isn't watercolor paper, that it really doesn't work well with water. So I thought I would just color with it, and blend the colors together just by blending them, and then at the end on this one I just used a wet wipe and just kind of sopped up the color with it, and I thought it really came out pretty. And I did the same with the other. So I'll show you what I did and we'll kind of walk through it and see what you think. The easiest way for me to do this was to kind of go around each blossom with the lightest color first, and then after I go around those, then I went around with the medium color, and then I covered it all in with the dark color. So I'll show you that hopefully relatively quickly. It didn't take very long, but these aren't big tips like you have on a alcohol marker. So it is a little bit slower, and I don't know, I thought it was kind of fun. If you like coloring mandalas, I think you'd really like playing with these with your mandalas, because they're just a little bit different than playing with pencils, and definitely different than watercolors. And I thought they were fun. So so far I'm really thinking they're a lot of fun to play with. And then I went around on any kind of, if there was any line in the middle of the flower, I played with that as well as far as coloring. Some of these colors, the shades of these colors, there isn't a huge, it goes from light to fluorescent pink. I mean, there is no, like, this is the medium color. I thought I'd try just doing it with the medium color instead of going to the darkest, and see what that did. And then I'll show you the darkest color too, so you can get an idea of why I did it the way I did it, because the darkest color is very, very fluorescent. This is pretty fluorescent, but the other one is really, really fluorescent. You can always go back in and add some accent colors if you want, but let's see what this does. There isn't a lot of difference, I don't think, between the medium pink and the dark pink. I thought there was a bigger difference, but it doesn't seem like there is. There's definitely a difference between the lightest pink, but apparently these darker ones, not so much. Let's see if I put a little of this in here, if that'll do anything. Then once I did that, I don't know if you saw that, but once I used the baby wipe on it, it really kind of made it all blend together better, versus before when it didn't seem to want to blend. The baby wipe really made it blend. Can you see that? I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, so after I did this red one, I thought, wow, that really came out great. I'm going to show them how I did the red one, and then maybe I'll show you how to do these ones as well. And with the reds, I started out with the darkest red, and I colored in the areas that were the smallest, I guess the smallest lines between each section, and then I went around each section. And I didn't do it, I made sure that I had enough of the darker red, darkest red I guess we'll call it, that you could see it. I tried to go on both sides of each line. I hope this is making sense. Keep in mind, I just want to make sure we talk about this just one more time. I'm not an artist, I just like the color. So this isn't from an artist's perspective, it's from somebody's perspective who likes the color. Okay, so then I'm going to go to this color, and I did the same thing with this. I just went around in the same way around the flower. Okay, now we're going to take our very last color, and this is it's kind of the lightest, but it's not really that much lighter, and I'm just going to color in the rest of the flower. So that's how I did the red flower. Oops, I missed a couple spots there. There's a little spot, and there's a little spot, and over there's a little spot. So I'll hold it up better so you can kind of see it. Isn't that nice? It's cool, isn't it? And then I'll show you how I did this one. I did it with yellows and some pinks. And I'll do it real quickly. Again, I'm just going to have Rich fast forward through this. The pinks, before I do though, I want to tell you that the pinks and the yellows are a lot drier than the reds and the darker colors. I'm not sure if that's common with markers or not, but they definitely aren't as juicy as the red ones and the purples. Then I did a little bit of a darker, no, it wasn't that one, it was a little bit darker than that, must have been this one. Yeah, I did this one just around just in little spots. And the yellow kind of acted as a blending tool. Then I scribbled off the yellow in case I got anything on the point. I didn't want to contaminate my point, so I just scribbled it off until I got anything off of it that was weird. And then I'm going to put a little bit more of the pink in there. Okay, so then the next thing I did was I picked up some of the color with wet wipe, baby wipe. And that made it look all kind of, I don't know, fuzzy? I don't know. I guess that's what we'll call it around the outside. I really like the look of that. I also like the look of this really deep purple, and I'll show you how I did that real quickly. I'll do it on this one. It involved mostly just this darkest purple, and I did all the lines. I just traced around all the lines with it. I did the darkest, and then I did this one that's more of a pinkish purple. And like I said, these darker colors are really juicy markers, and they're nice. I'm sure that you could probably do it as a watercolor, but I didn't use watercolor paper. I think I said that already, so it didn't really work. There you go. That's how I did the purple one. Now you can blot off some of the color if you want to. That's another option, like I did with the other with the lighter color. And when you do that, it makes it look kind of watercolory. I thought that was kind of a cool look. See how it pulled up a lot of that purple in that one area? I thought that was really neat looking. So I think, I mean, all in all, I think this is a really fun thing to do. Okay, so that is my background paper that's all colored in, keeping in mind that my goal for this isn't to use it as the background for one particular card, but I'm probably going to be fussy cutting out a lot of these to use in different cards, and hopefully they'll work well together. And I hope you liked this. I know it was long, but hopefully Rich fast forwarded enough that you really didn't have to sit through a painfully long period of time. But I hope you enjoyed it, and those again were the Stabilo, I think it's Stabilo. 68 was the number of the tip, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And our next video is going to be, of course, a card that we're going to make with one or more of these. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.